You don't speak Spanish or no hablas inglés? No problem. We have included subtitles for English, Spanish, Portuguese and French.
How the newspaper titles, I was repeating it on the board. So by playing with this, I start to learn a few words and then learn to read completely. After I learned the reading at 3, they thought maybe I should skip one class. But like child psychologists gave them advice that I'd be under trouble if I, at young age, studied with a big group of older guys, so they let me go through the normal way. In Turkey there are quite a few religious cults, and they, especially when they see you are good at school, they try to pull you in and use you for their purposes.
The participant of today's episode of Getting to Know Humanity, Nuri, is quite a special one, as you can see on this IQ distribution chart. The IQ measures human intelligence in a standardized way. However, there exist various forms of intelligence. An IQ between 85 and 115 is considered in the normal range. Around 70% of the population fall into that range. The IQ that Nuri has told us is around 145. Which means that he's among the 0.1% smartest humans on Earth. So be curious about today's episode and get an insight of what it's like to live with such a talent. First, we're gonna start with a lightning round. That's gonna be 8 fast questions.
Okay.
So, introvert or extrovert?
Introvert.
Sex or chocolate?
Sex.
Cat or dog?
Cat.
Big city or small town life?
Big city.
Friends with benefits or a stable relationship?
I don't know.
Hawaii or Alaska?
Hawaii.
Backpacking or hotel?
Hotel.
Living forever or being able to teleport yourself?
Teleport.
All right. All right. Introduce yourself pretty quick. Like, what's your name? How old are you? What are you working?
Yeah. So my name is Nuri. I'm 38, from Turkey, from Istanbul. So I grew up in Istanbul, and after university I moved to the United States for a master's degree. And then I came to Czech Republic to work here in the field of aerospace, and now I work in automotive, and I live here for more than 10 years. So yeah, I enjoy good food, cooking and music, and recently I'm into meditation and also stocks and trading. So I have chronic problem which is with gluten, so I have celiac disease, so I cannot eat it. So that's just a rough outline.
All right, thank you very much. All right, cool. Can you tell about more? Like, how did you read at age 3?
My mom's cousin and her daughter, they gave me just this pad, like it's a toy. So there were letters A, B, C, D. I had the newspapers, so I was just putting it like the newspaper. How the newspaper titles, I was repeating it on the board. So by playing with this, I start to learn a few words and then learn to read completely. Because of this, they also forced my cousin, who is also like 4 years younger than me, also boy. They really put pressure on him to learn before he went to school as well, and he did manage as well.
Did you enjoy going to school and learning new stuff, or learning, for example, how to read? Was that fulfilling for you?
Yeah. After that, I was reading anything I could find, like child books from my sister. I was all the time reading, like I was reading comic books, whatever I could grab, and didn't even consider about eating or food. I was reading constantly, So same for the mathematics. I mean, I really like to calculate. But for example, when we went to supermarket with my mom when I was child, like everything we add to the basket, I was already calculating in my mind and then telling the cashier in advance.
Have you ever measured your IQ?
When I was like 11 or 12, I think they measured it 140 or 145.
All right, okay. How did your teachers react when they heard that you have an IQ of 140 or 145?
After I learned the reading at 3, they thought maybe I should skip one class. But like child psychologists gave them advice that I'd be under trouble if I, at young age, studied with a big group of older guys, so they let me go through the normal way.
What do you think about that decision?
I think it's a good decision.
Oh, it's a good decision. Okay. How was school for you? Like, was it super easy?
In Turkey, the system is different. Basically, there are 2 big exams. One is after the primary school, so you apply to a middle school. You take the exam with a lot of kids, so you go to the best school if you are in the top, and you get paid the tuition. And same for the university exams. Not that the life is easy, but you get a lot of pressure from around to go to the best schools and make the best grades in these exams, so you are really on that best schools. One of the conflict during my childhood until the end of university is like I come from a conservative family, closer to religion, but the school wasn't like this and most of the kids weren't like this. In Turkey there are quite a few religious cults, and they, especially when they see you are good at school, they try to pull you in and use you for their purposes, which I realized later.
When something gets taught to you, do you capture everything easily, or?
It really depends on the subject. Some subjects I have really hard time to grasp it. Some of them were really easy, but those that were hard, I just rely on my memory and memorize the basic stuff about it and go to exams with those.
Okay, so you would say you've got a really good memory.
I used to, probably it's worse now after I filled it with a lot of work experience and all that, but when I was younger I had a really good memory.
Interesting. And which subjects were easy for you and which subjects were difficult?
I mostly like mathematics. And the subject being difficult was to do more with, if I didn't like the teacher, then the subject would become difficult. Yeah.
Okay. Is it difficult for you or easy for you to learn new languages?
Czech is difficult to learn. English is a relatively easy language to learn, and there are so many sources, but the bad thing about Czech is the teachers are bad. They don't know how to teach to foreigners. So I only made progress when I found a teacher who was specialized in teaching Czech to foreigners.
I see. All right.
Gender and declinations, those are things that were really new to me in Czech, so I had difficulty with it in the beginning, and sometimes I still have. But I really appreciate it because when you learn Czech, you can be really familiar with all the Slavic languages from Polish to Russian, Ukrainian, so it helps actually.
You still enjoy learning new stuff, or in general? Did you enjoy learning Czech?
Yeah, after I grasped the basic rules in Czech, there are many words with the same meaning, but also there are words with multiple meaning. So it's also a bit like mathematics, yeah.
Okay, what are your dreams in life?
My dream was to work in one of the top space company and deliver cool technology. And I achieved it. I worked in one company and I made patents, and then I moved to different areas. So I fulfilled one dream and I'm trying to get to another dream maybe.
How come you moved from the United States?
Basically, I couldn't continue my studies because my professor at my funding, he had difficulties. So I had to either decide to find another university, continue. I felt like it's good time. You need to have experience, otherwise you cannot make money. So,
were you making a PhD or?
I was on a PhD program. I just left it with a master's degree.
Ah, all right. And what is the most important thing in your life at the moment?
The most important thing in my life is mostly related to, like, family is always important. It never changes. So that's on one side. But from the actual things, I want to start up my own business, which has been difficult because of the COVID. And I want to also be really good at trading.
What is fascinating you about the trading?
It's a thing that I haven't discovered until now because I'm really good with mathematics since a very small age. First, it's all about numbers, right? The trends, and of course it's about the economic situation as well, but it's mostly about numbers. So it fascinates me, and it's really thrilling to make the right decision, to make the trade at the time and then win. Of course you make a lot of losses as well, but as long as you learn from it, it's not so much trouble.
What is your philosophy in life?
Don't think about the past or the future too much, just focus on the moment and try to grasp most of it. I take this as philosophy and try to as much as I can apply.
About this sensor, like maybe you can tell a bit about your work career. Like, why did you stop to work at the company who made the drones?
As I told you about my goal to work in top aerospace company, so I started with a small company which came later a big one. But they were in the beginning, so they couldn't really help me reach my goal. They were not so structured and organized. It was good for the basic in the beginning. Therefore I went for the postgraduate studies to US to have either an academic career or move to the industry and really learn from the top people in the field. But the difficulty in this sector was really find a job in US. If you're a foreigner in the aerospace, it's really difficult. They don't let you. So therefore, I choose to come to a company which is doing similar job here in Czech Republic. I wasn't really moving on or doing new stuff, which was exciting for me. So I was just looking around for something different, and I found this automotive job.
What are you doing there exactly?
So I'm doing the functional safety for the rain and light sensor. So it's one small sensor which is measuring the intensity of light and the rain by the windshield glass. And basically I'm working on how it should work safely and how we guarantee safety goals that the customer gives us. And I'm working on the detailed analysis and the components that the product can achieve this.
Are you really good at like developing new products yourself? Or?
I'm good at developing new products. I'm actually good at organizing people. At some point, a lot of young engineers joined and they asked me to take the action and get the best results from them. I'm good with this as well.
What would you like to work on now if you could choose any work project? What would be something that interests you?
I would probably stay in the self-driving. I still like this topic. But explore a little different area of it. One of my goals is to start my own business and be successful at it. But it's complicated to do it in a technical field, to have good cash flow and be successful. So I'm really taking baby steps now to build it.
All right, as a final question, what would you say, what do all humans have in common?
I think what we have all in common, we want to get the best conditions in our life for ourselves and for those near us. For those around us.
Yes. All right, Nuri. Thank you very much for the interview.
Okay, thanks. That was good.
See you maybe in the next episode.
Yes.
In a couple of years. Thank you so much for watching this video and for your support. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much.